Hello guys, and welcome back to another video tutorial for Fusion 360 and Vex Robotics. So today, to kind of just jump right into it, what you're going to be learning today is rotational joints and how to assemble the Vex Robotics equipments into some kind of wheel formation. So to get started, I'm going to jump right on into my period 3. If you're not in period 3, go to your class, find your name, and go into your folder, obviously. So I'm going to go with mine in here. So last class we had activity 1 intro. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy and I'm going to save this to my folder. So wherever your folder is, find wherever your folder is and save it to yours. It should pop up here, boom, as a copy. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this activity 2. And I'm going to title it wheels. Activity 2 wheels. So just like that. So I just right click, copy, select this folder that I'm in, and right click and rename. That's all I did. All right. So now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of my intro. Don't need it because I already have one over here, right? So I'm going to double click on this one to open this up. And as you can see, it's the exact same, right? So cool, it's just a copy and paste. Now we're going to make some modifications to this that are going to add a bearing flat, an axle or a shaft, and some shaft collars and some wheels. So follow along and let's get right on into it. So I'm going to open up my Vex components and I'm actually going to search for a bearing flat. Now I'm going to just scroll down because I think my bearing flat's actually kind of close to the top. So I'm just scrolling through my parts. And I think mine is, it's coming up here soon. Yeah, right here. So it's called a bearing flat. The part number 276, hyphen 1209. There you go. So I'm going to grab one of those, and I'm going to need 4 of these total. And I'll get to that in a couple seconds here. So what I want to do is I want to rotate this so that it's kind of like this. Let me see if I can pull this up a little bit, move this over, and I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to rotate this and see. OK, that's actually not what I wanted. But that's OK. Whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to join this guy. So again, how bearing flats look and why these guys are used is these reduce friction for your shafts. So they have these axles or these little holes for shafts to slide in through. I'm going to choose this flat face up top up here. So these little teeth, they go into your metal. So I'm going to zoom out. And so I did the center hole there, and now I'm going to want to go on the outside of this. I want to go towards, I think this one here looks pretty nice. Yeah, we'll go with this one right here. So again, if I zoom in, I'm choosing this flat one up here, not the dark lines. So just like that. Now, if yours pops up like this, that's okay. You just push the little flip button. Boop. And now, as you can see, I'm going to have to drag these around a little bit, right? So it's kind of weird. Why is this doing this? Yeah, got to drag it down. So I got to go down negative 2.35, just like this, and hit enter. Boom. And there we go. Now, it's also important to realize that, yes, I locked this into place here, but if this was off by a little bit, let's say this was rotated a little bit, what I like to do is I like to double check myself and do this real quick. So I'm going to zoom in to double check myself and do a joint, capture position. Again, I'm going to choose the exact same surface, the axle part, for the top one now. So I'm going to do 2 points instead of 1. And I'm going to click shift in orbit, shift in my mouse wheel to kind of rotate around. And and click this top part up here. Nope, where is it at? There it is, right there. Now it's going to say, yes, do you want to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do this. Now it's going to give me a warning. That's okay. I can fix that warning by doing this. Clicking that and then typing negative 2.35. Now hit OK. No errors, because both of these joints are both shifted down 2.35. Now the cool thing about that is, this I know now is perfectly perpendicular. It's vertically up and down. It's not tilted to the side, not orientated any differently, because I have 2 points out of the 3 that are in a straight line. Does that kind of make sense? So if I only had one, I could have locked this one to that point and it would have been askew or diagonal, and that's kind of frustrating for me. So that's why we do 2 locks. Now, whatever I do on this side, I got to do on the other side too. So I got to bring this over to the other side, because if I only do 1 point or 1 bearing flat over here, it kind of is annoying, because I still have like the metal, like when the shaft comes through, I'm going to have metal on metal contact over here. So I can copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and now I can simply just drag this through. And I'm going to show you this. I could grab it there, but I'll show you this one. And I'm going to rotate this around just like that, 180 degrees. Boom. Makes it easy to join, because I know now what hole I need this to kind of attach onto. So now I can go to my joint, zoom in. There it is. Click over on this face over here. Where is it at? Boom. There we go. You guys can already see where it's going, right here. Boom. And then I need to drag this guy down, the negative 2.35. Oops, that's 2.5. I need 3.5. There you go. And hit OK. The more you practice joints, the faster they get and the easier that they are. Honestly, like it is just practice. Practice makes perfect. And it's also like, hey, like some things are not going to be perfectly put together. And so you're going to have to, make them kind of work. So you're going to have to choose a point and then kind of just, play with the dimensions of where you want that to, align with. So in this case, that 2.35, like that doesn't come from anything specific other than me noticing that that's like midway through. So then I gotta go down negative 2.35, hit OK. If you get any red errors or any kind of red joints, that means you did something wrong and you gotta go back and delete those and make those better. Alright, so now if I look from the side, boom, boom, I can get all the ways across. So now all I have to do is find a shaft end. So this actually isn't too bad. So my shafts are going to be all over the place. So 2 inches. Let me inspect real quick. So inspect, you can measure the distance. I'm going to measure the distance between here and here. What number is that going to be? So that is 5 centimeters. Well, shoot, that's not inches. What is 50 centimeters or 5 centimeters in inches? Well, let me see. 5 centimeter in inches. Okay, looks like that's just about 2 inches. All right, well, let me go back. So I can't use the 2, so I'll just use the 3-inch one. So I'll bring the 3-inch shaft over then. Give myself some leeway here, right? So then I'm going to rotate this guy so he's, perpendicular, so he goes in. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so this is going to be the easy part, because I want this to go in the center one, right? Okay, well then joint. I'm going to choose this face. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it does, actually. Let me go back in through there. My bad. Choose this one, where it has the plus. My bad. And I want that there. So plus to plus, minus to minus, huzzah. I'm going to shift orbit to look at how that looks. Zoom out a little bit. All right. Looks like I can drag that out just a little bit further. Okay, so it's not quite 10. So let me see, 5. Nope, let's go negative 5. Negative 7.5. Maybe negative 6.5. Maybe negative 5.5. There we go, negative 5.5 it is. Negative 5.5 millimeters. Boom, that looks about even, right? And all I did, again, was just kind of play around with that, right? I didn't make it, nothing was like super permanent on there, right? Cool. So then, I have to go back through and I have to edit that. Why? Well, because if I try to rotate this, see how that kind of just doesn't roll and rotate? That's kind of fixed. It's called a rigid joint. So you got to go through, I got to edit this joint. It's as simple as going down to the type and changing that to a revolutionary. And see how it rotates along the z-axis? That's actually exactly what you want. If it looks like this rotating, you done messed up. That's okay. You're just coming through and just change whatever axis you want to play it on. The y-axis, probably the same thing. Does it do that in real life? No. So we want it to be z-axis, just like that. And then, yeah, everything else is all set. So, boom. Now, it is locked in that position where it's not going to be able to slide in and out, which is pretty cool. I like that. So it's not going to, slide one way or the other, but it will rotate now. I'm going to actually click on my channel up here, and I'm going to right-click and ground that channel. And I'm going to capture position. So you'll have a little pin here. What that means is it's locked to the ground. It's grounded. So now I can just play around with this and rotate this freely, right? Cool. All right. So how do I lock this shaft in place there so it doesn't come off? Well, that's awkward. It's right here, shaft collar. So you just bring one of those over. And these are like the little donuts that go on the outside of your shafts to lock stuff in place or lock something on, or keep this from falling off. So I'm gonna hit OK here. And these ones, again, like all cylinders in this, are super easy to conjoin. Because again, I'm just looking for some kind of point that's like this, just the ring, so I can connect it to, well, this has a ring out here, right? I'm hovering over the bearing flat circle right there. Check that out. Boom. Now, instead of doing that though, what I could do, so what I should do is not lock it to the bearing flat, because the bearing flat doesn't rotate at all. The bearing flat is locked. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to this face here, and then I'm going to slide this, come on, I'm going to slide this down just a little bit. Let me see how far down I need to make it. Boom. Alright, so I need to slide that down probably like 5.5. Yeah, we'll go 5.5. Yeah, that looks good. 5.5. Boom. There we go. The reason why I did that is because now look, if I rotate my shaft, it rotates the shaft collar. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's why. So I want to be able to rotate my shaft collar and rotate my shaft. As opposed to locking this to the bearing flat, because this does rotate as your shaft rotates. And now I got to do the same thing on the backside. So I'm going to click Control C, Control V, copy and paste, capture position, and drag this all the way over. Notice how the revolutionary joint I didn't need to do on the other side. Very peculiar. Nah, it's just the way it is. It's just the way you need it to be. Because it be like that. Alright, so I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. Just click, click. And I doubt that I'm going to get so lucky with the 5.5 on this one. But again, I'm just eyeballing it, What I'm looking for is I need it to be flat with this bearing flat here. So in this case, that looks like that's going to be about 2. Let's see what 3 looks like. Nah, not 3. So maybe like 1.9 even. Yeah, 1.9 looks pretty good. Or 1.8. Yeah, that looks better. And it's rigid. We're all set. Boom. Cool, cool, cool. And again, same thing with this side. If I rotate my axle or my shaft collar rotates. Pretty cool, right? All right. So now that you have those dudes, now it's time to add the fun parts, the wheels. So we got to find a wheel. Oh, there's the bell. Ding. All right. So the bell, or not the bell, the wheel. As I'm just scrolling through my part files here, just kind of perusing, going down memory lane here, just looking at every little piece that I know the name for. Do you know the name for all these pieces? I could put a sprocket on there. Could do that. Could do that. But instead, I'm going to look for a wheel. And I don't see it. So I'm going to search for it. So just wheel. Nope, not heel, but wheel. Wheel looks like... Yes, there it is. 2.75 inch wheel. We'll bring one of those guys over here. Now this is going to be a trick question for you guys. Do I or do I not make this a rigid joint on there? If I make it a rigid joint, is it going to be able to rotate? that is going to be the question, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit joint, capture position. Wheels can be pretty easy, but also pretty complex. So as you can see, if I hover over like all of these circles, notice what pops up in the middle, right? You have a little plus sign here. So what I try to do is I try to make it so that it's the furthest most outer edged circle. I want it to be, and I want that plus sign, so I want that. If I don't like that, I can hit X. So maybe I could go with something else instead. I think, well, where'd that go? Right about there is fine. Yeah, right there is okay. For all intents and purposes on this one, I think we're okay here. All right, so then now I'm going to go in and I can choose, there's multiple things I can choose. I could choose this, I could choose the shaft, or I could choose the other shaft color over there. There's multiple things, because again, the main thing that I'm looking for here is that plus, because that's the axle. I just want everything to rotate along that axle. So then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to shift orbit. Oh Jesus, this is where we get into some lag city. I'm going to drag this over. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to toggle the visibility off so I can see this, right? All right, my shaft looks like it's pretty good. It's right up along there, right? So if I click on the front face. Oh, Jesus, I'm all over the place. Sorry about this, guys. This is getting kind of messy here. All right, so see how my shaft is square with this square of the wheel? That's exactly what we want. All right, I'm going to hit enter here just to see what this looks like in the end. Oh no. Well, bad news, guys. Bad news indeed. These were not a rigid group when they came into my space. So if this pops up for you, what you gotta do is delete this, hit delete, bring a new one in, and then while this is all here, I can rotate this around real quick, hit OK. So again, my apologies here for you guys. See how I can pull this apart? Not very good, right? Not very good. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click rigid group, and I'm going to hit OK. Now watch. Oh, isn't that awesome? Okay, so again, very important. So as soon as you bring it over, you got to right click and go up to rigid group. So what that does is it takes all these little parts and pieces, because this is made up of actually 3 different pieces inside of there. So it takes all those pieces and combines them all into one group for you. So that way you don't have to worry about, you know, whatever I just did there and you just saw me, just fixes that mess right up real quick for you guys. So again, I'm going to try to get that plus on the inside. Come on. Why do you have to be like this? Why do you got to be so difficult? Oh, there. Nope. Nope. Okay, zooming in. God. Is that it? Are those the answers that I seek? Nope. Where are you? Nope. That's not it. That's not it. That ain't it. That ain't it. Exit out on that one. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to find the gosh darn center. There we go. Boom. Whew. Found the center. Alright. Found the center here. And now we can just click and drag that over. Ooh, let's see what 40 looks like. Let me see. Is that too far over? Might be. I'll bring it like 35 maybe. Cool. And then I'm going to toggle that last part on. Yeah, so it's not exactly centered. If I want to go back through and edit that, I can just do right click, edit, and let's see, it's 35 this way, so maybe do like 30. Yeah, 30 looks good. We'll do 30. Boom. That's close. Close enough. All right. Now, the real moment of truth here, if I rotate this wheel, Oh, yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. Cool, 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 cool. So we got our first rotational thing in. Now, the only thing, the really cool thing about this is there's only one rotational joint here. So it's very important that you get the rotational joint on the axle, then lock everything to that shaft, as you would in normal life. Now, I can push this a little bit further, but because it's 20 minutes, I could go further, but I'm not going to. So what I want you guys to do is take all of this and copy and paste it. So you got a bearing flat, and you got 1, 2, 3, fourth hole. Well, 1, 2, 3, yeah, fourth hole up. I want you to do the exact same thing up here that you did down here, with all the functioning works. All right, that's what I'll be checking for this next video assignment. All right, thank you guys for watching and staying in there. And for my subscribers, let's see, this week's subscribers will be, if I go back to the main folders, we'll get a period 2 shout out. No, we'll give period 6 a nice shout out here. We'll go with these guys here. These are all my subscribers. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Keep me hired. All right, deuces, my dudes.